The spoiler review of Alien Convent was about some nuns. So, Alien Covenant, James Franco's best performance ever. It's weird that I forgot, we didn't really mention him in the non-spoiler review. James Franco is in this for a second. Yeah. You see him while he's hypersleep.
That's the whole thing. This whole movie, this is the big spoiler, is it's a prequel to 127 Hours.
Yeah.
Because he's actually on a fucking mountain climbing.
But I'll say something about James Franco. James Franco,
so meta.
I feel like James Franco, he's barely in this thing at all. Like, you watch him catch fire, which is a badass scene, actually, when he catches fire in the little tube when they come out of hypersleep. And we'll get to why they come out of hypersleep early. But it's like James Franco was probably just walking around, the set or 20th Century Fox, stoned out of his mind. And they're like, do you want to, like, come be in this movie? He's like, I'll do it.
You guys have a lunch buffet?
Yeah. I mean, who makes James Franco the captain anyway? You're fucking stoned. When they get to the planet that they see on their sensor, because they get a distress signal, McBride's out there doing McBrideness. David had actually killed Noomi Rapace, and that was Noomi. He killed her, and the reason why, what you find out about David's fucking insane. David has gone crazy times, like 5,000. He killed her and has been genetically, fucking around with these alien species after you find out he launched that weapon on board the Prometheus, or not Prometheus, but that, alien craft they took from the engineers to the homeworld. That was the homeworld of the engineers. He launched that weapon on all of them and killed them all, and then used Noomi Rapace's body as like an incubator and just used genetic engineering and splicing to create the aliens that we all now know and love. It's
secret menu items. The whole backstory with David is for me, as far as just talking about alien lore and stuff like that, is the best part of this whole movie, story-wise, because the movie opens up and he's talking to young Guy Pearce, and it's the creation of David, and he's talking about, well, can I ask you a question? Who's your creator? And then Guy Pearce's character's like, or Waylon is like, I don't know. Basically, he was like, I don't know. My whole purpose in life is to find out who my creator is. And then David, like, you see a little twinkle in his mechanical eye, and the next thing he says is like, so wait, you created me, you're my master, I'm your bitch bringing you tea and shit, and your whole purpose in life is to find out who made you, and yet I just was brought into this earth and I've already surpassed you in that, knowing that you're my maker. He's not impressed with him at all, and that's what sets the whole stage for Prometheus and everything we saw there. And I love that they gave his character this backstory and made him the central character of the whole fucking thing.
At no point was there ever a line that should have been used when David looks at Guy Pearce or Waylon, like, when he finds out that that's what his purpose is, he should have said, you are one pathetic loser. Because it does, like that, you're right, that he just gets this, like, disgust, like, ooh, God, I mean, you created me. And,
it's like when you hear your significant other eating.
Yeah, the other android that gets brought on board that's designed after the David model, that, the reason why he dropped that bomb on the engineers and why he did it for, and why he doesn't like humans, is he said they already had their chance. I'm not going to give them another one. They don't deserve another one. And he says, my whole purpose is to create life, to engineer a perfect species.
He even calls himself a zoologist at one point, and what I love about it is they spend half of Prometheus treating David like shit, and these are the people who created him. He just has no respect for humanity.
Well, I mean, is it because it's almost like a whipped dog? I mean, they don't understand compassion. I mean, he said that Noomi Rapace was kind to him. Dr. Shaw was, but he couldn't.
Well, he doesn't give a fuck at that point. I mean, he knows that he's better than the people who created him. So in a sense, like, he also hates the engineers. Like, he wants to be a god. He's always talking about Ozymandias and all this shit like that. He wants to be a god. He wants to at least find another species that he can respect.
It's so murderous in the way that he does it, and it's like almost a gleeful feel that he has in his eyes when you see what he's doing. Like, he created the eggs that we all, that I think he did. I mean, the face fuckers, he didn't really create them, but he engineered them to a point what they are now, and what you see with Sigourney Weaver.
He's basically a dog breeder.
And when they get down to the planet and they meet up with David, they're like, get closer to it. And he's like, it's 100% safe. Go look. And the fucker snaps his face, and then he's like, he's just smiling about it because he's like, I know what it's going to do. It's going to face fuck the shit out of you with no protection, and you're going to have a baby, and it's going to burst from your chest. And I'm going to say something else before. We didn't talk about this, but when they first get to the planet, and that sequence when you saw in the trailer that guy like shaking and stuff in the, he's just that thing, the alien embryo bursts from his back and comes out with like this big turd that like unveils itself to be like this disgusting little thing that's running around. But it doesn't just stop there. Like, that's the first time, okay? And obviously the stupid girl that's on board, there's two of them. The one that's trying to shoot it, it's got the worst aim I've ever seen in my life. She slips in blood, she hits, she shoots the ceiling. The thing knows that she's there. Anyway, she blows the ship up basically and kills herself and everything on board. But the cool thing is the alien was able to come out of his back, and then the second time, another crew member is infected on the ground, and it comes out of his fucking mouth. These things are coming out of every orifice. Your butthole's next. I mean, it comes out of everything.
Idiot, though. I saw a lot of reviews saying like their problem with the movie was that the characters were stupid, and I thought a lot about what they did was reasonable for the most part. Like, I understand why they stopped at this planet, because nobody wanted to go back to cryosleep, and there's a small chance that they may be able to colonize this planet.
I don't want to go back to sleep. I just land there.
After that happened, I wouldn't want to get back in a fucking pod for 7 goddamn years either. But
that's the best sleep
and plus,
ever.
They showed him as a weak leader anyway. He was all fucked up. I mean, I thought they did that part just fine. The only part that was really stupid, like the stupidest character moment of the entire movie, was no one had any protection getting off of that shit.
Well, they already
scanned it. But the one dude just goes up to these little fucking flicker eggs and is like, I want to put my face up to it and smell it. And in the other movies, you have people putting their face right up on eggs. In those movies, nobody talks about that.
Yeah, but I guess that just comes down to human stupidity, because even David says, he's like, what they said about curiosity killed the cat. Because if somebody's like, God, that guy just farted, it stinks, you're gonna run over there and like, oh yeah, it stinks. I was like, why'd you go over there and smell it? Like, it stinks. Like, the guy just told you it smells.
Why you smell it like it was stripper dust or something?
No, it's like gold dust that mark you for life.
They look like little poop eggs. Why would you smell that anyways?
So yeah, I mean, there are moments. There's some stupid moments in it, but I mean, come on, it's a horror sci-fi movie. Whatever. You gotta say, well, I wouldn't do that. I probably wouldn't do that, but who knows? But I mean, I want to talk about Danny McBride really quick. Danny McBride does well, and it's like, and he actually surprised me, because I thought that he was going to be the comedy relief, and he's got maybe 1 or 2 times that he says something funny, but for the most part, he plays it really well.
And what's weird, dude, is he could have fit in any single one of these movies. He could have been on the Prometheus board. Yeah. He could have been an alien. He's the perfect type of character.
Like, he goes by Tennessee, which fits his his attitude completely.
Yeah, he worked really well. He didn't feel out of place at all.
And the main girl in this, I don't remember her name. I don't know. She does well. I mean, there's nothing memorable about her performance. I think that she's solid.
Not a whole lot. Yeah, she's really
a solid actress. But the movie wasn't about the crew, and it wasn't about the colonists, and it even wasn't about the xenomorphs. It's about the obsession that David has of exterminating human life and creating his own genesis with these aliens, these xenomorphs. Yeah. That is really what the focus of Ridley Scott's vision was, and that, to me, he does it fucking like nobody's business. Yeah. This is, what it was? I swear to God, Michael Fassbender, this is like the Magneto you probably want to see for...
That's the cat.
But this is the cat. This is the kind of, like, I get harkened back to a Magneto, but a Magneto that I want, like a vengeful, like, sadistic Magneto, because he says multiple times, like, he calls Walter his brother. He's like, my brother. And he's like, they're not worth a second chance. It just seems like a Magneto, like, bent on domination. Pinhead, without a fucking doubt. It's very scary. He's like, I want to rip your shit apart. I don't know.
But they have a really, really gay moment in the movie where it's so fucking weird, guys, because normally, like, I'm always the guy, me or you would be the guy that if someone makes a joke, Armand's going to be in the gutter, and we're going to be like, that's what she said. But we weren't this time. Somebody else broke.
No, there's multiple people.
Yeah, so we're watching it, and he comes out, and he sees his flute. And Walter wasn't made to create because of David. And that was another cool story that they did. Yeah. He was like, you're the reason that they made us different and less emotional, because you're fucked up, man. But they go and they play the flute together, and he literally goes, you just want to blow in the hole ever so lightly. And I was holding it in, but some dude behind me went...
I mean, everybody started. It was like a cacophony of people chuckling. And then he was like, I'll do the fingering.
I was literally crying. Like, I couldn't hold it in. Like, the people next to me started laughing. They were eating like Dinty Moore or something out of a can.
They were eating some ramen noodles.
They snuck in some shit.
They look like ramen noodles.
It was weird. This is on my side. And then on Jay's side, we ran into Devin Williams, who is a fan of the channel, which is fucking crazy. What's up, dude? But yeah, don't unbutt at the same time.
Butsy on.
One of us unbutt.
You finally see David's vision. I mean, he gets the captain, the stand-in captain after James Franco dies, to be infected by this face fucker. And once it lays the eggs and it does the classic chest burst and it comes out and it grows really fucking fast, really quick. it's like the alien, the xenomorph that we all see nowadays that we're all used to. This thing is huge as shit. It's Shaq. I mean, it's fucking Shaq. I mean, he shit on the foul line, but that bitch can dunk. And it's scary, man. Like, it actually is fucking terrifying to look at because it's so, and it's got the, you know, the double head thing and everything going for it.
That was the part that was too CGI for me.
No, when it comes out, yeah. But I'm just saying when you...
No, not when it comes out. Not that part, but when it's full on. You saw that in the trailer when he's banging his head on the thing or whatever. He looked cool. I just thought it was too CGI. I would have loved. I thought the CGI in the rest of the film was great. But I would have loved to see that one, the full-on xenomorph. I thought it would have been fantastic if they just made that one xenomorph practical effects.
Well, it's weird though because you know, David was always talking about like doing, you know, he wanted to bring the species out and he wanted to create this genetically engineered new civilization that's based on what he thinks is a great survivor. But I would have thought that the alien that would have popped out from the guy's chest, or at least the original, the first one, would have been a queen. Anyway, it was still badass. It was a great scene, and David is explored way better in this. Way more time is given to David's psyche and as far removed from reality as he is now. Because he's also, and I don't know if it's because he's been there on that planet for so long that he's had time to think about it, and he's just gone more insane with each passing year, or if he was always going to do that. Because the thing about Newbie Rapacia is when, you know, he talks about Dr. Shaw, is he's like, you know, I never had seen kindness like that before from anybody, and then he murders her anyway, because he said he loved her, but he still murdered her and like split her ass open in her body, did all these experiments with her.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that he opened his eyes and the first thing he saw was, and they said it in Prometheus when he's talking to Logan Marshall Green or whatever his name is, he was like, why did you make me? And he's like, because we can. And his words were, could you imagine how disappointing it would be if you heard that from your creator? And then the first scene here, you see him talking to Guy Pearce's character, and he tells him, you know, he's basically disappointed with his creator. So he's like, fuck that. I don't want to be a creation. I'm better than all of you. I'm going to be the creator. And then he becomes a mad fucking scientist.
Yeah, but so David was already kind of flawed. I mean, because David already had this problem with him, like that he wanted to be more than
too much estrogen.
And you know, he said, or testosterone. But he said, well, it was funny because I think Guy Pearce got pierced. Yeah, when Guy Pearce got pierced. He said, he was like, but then you'll die. He goes, I'll serve you, and then you'll die. And the guy was like, bring me some fucking tea.
That's when David Bradstreet kicked at the door and be like, I've been drinking green tea all goddamn day.
Yeah, it was just out of nowhere. Because like, you could see Guy Pearce's face. He's like, bring me some tea, David. He was like, what? He's like, tea, now, cup, my hand, I need it. And it was like, I don't know if it was like Guy Pearce showing dominance, like, I created you, fucker. Yeah. I don't care what you guys say.
We were dicks to him. Life's all about like, how you
because he said, you're my son. Well, David switched places with Walter. Okay, you see one scene where Walter is like fighting him, and he's on top, and you think it's over because he's gonna kill him. He just emulates what Walter was. He emulates the voice. He apparently cuts his own fucking hand off. He puts the scars on his face to make everybody think that he's Walter.
Duty.
And when he gets on board, this is where it gets really fucking crazy though. The way that Ridley Scott shot that one specific scene though, while they're trying to lead it out to the airlock, again, it's a Sigourney Weaver like nod. You see through the alien's eyes. It's all weird, blurry cool. Shit. It's cool, yeah. The girl's going to hypersleep. She's like, when we get to the new planet, you can help. I want you to help me build, my cabin or whatever. And he's like, what? He's like, and then she's like, oh, and then she's like, David, and he was like, shh. And dude, that part was so creepy. He's like, shh, like this. He's like, and then he hits the cryo so that she can't get out. So literally the whole ship now, 2,000 colonists are in the hands of this guy that just he wants to create the alien species.
It reminded me of the scene from Prometheus when he's standing over and she's like, how'd you know that? And he's like, I've watched your dreams. Yeah, he's amazing. Fassbender, at one point, he's got a conversation between him and Walter, and just the fucking things that he's doing. I ain't seen acting like that since Eddie Murphy and the Nutty Professor.
That's the greatest acting job ever.
It was a great twist. I like the way they did that. And basically now everybody's fucked. He goes over to the hatch and he just starts going.
Yeah, he like
mother birding these fucking alien eggs and putting them in the holes where the people should be.
The embryos.
And you get basically what I love about this movie is it's David's origin story is basally the alien's origin story. I mean,
and I'm guessing he's going to infect all these colonists with the eggs, so that all 2,000 of them are going to be vestige tubes for these fucking aliens. Like,
It's gonna be like a chestburster mob
yeah,
scene.
there's all sorts of nastiness gonna happen soon when they get off that ship. I mean, indigestion, my ass. That's fucking an alien coming through your chest, sir. I think that the ending is perfect. I think the ending definitely leads you to another sequel for the prequel. But it's still fun. I mean, and I didn't walk away disappointed.
Yeah.
I had more questions, but I mean, that's a good thing. I was like, okay, well, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here? Where are they going to go with this?
That's the thing. I felt like they told this story well. Like this was a fun, entertaining ass, scary, horror, interesting fucking movie, and I thought that they told the story well. Where Prometheus left a lot more shit hanging, this one just. It's letting you know there's going to be more Alien sequels after this, and it's on a logical path. So I'm not butthurt by them asking more questions at all. I love it. Some people seem pissed off about that, and again, people said that it didn't answer the questions of Prometheus, and I felt like it did, because David's whole backstory is the answer to the questions for Prometheus. The only thing that they don't go into is why the engineers created us and where the engineers came from. But I think the problem with Prometheus was the fact that that was supposed to be a sub-story. Like, that wasn't supposed to be the main point. And people watched it, and they were like, oh shit, where are these engineers from? And they accidentally became the focus of the movie.
So basically what the engineers looked at us and said, your mom and I fucked up, we don't love you anymore.
Yeah. So
that's it.
So it takes it back to this, and it explains David, who's the cause of everything. And I felt like it did give a lot of answers.
Well, yeah, I did, and I don't know what else you wanted from it. I don't know what else people would have thought that they like as far as answers. There were, again, it wasn't the movie itself. What Prometheus was and what this movie is supposed to be too. It's not about the engineers. I mean, it is in a way, but it's not. I mean, it was just about the origins of the xenomorphs. So you're right. So I mean, people focused. I think that people focused on the wrong shit.
Yeah. So I gave this a 9 out of 10. I think it belongs right up there with Alien and Aliens. I'm not saying it's as good as those two movies. I just think it fits in perfectly. I felt like this movie did a service to Prometheus. I love Prometheus. Some people don't like that movie, but it's a little bit of Prometheus. It's a lot of Alien, surprisingly. The horror. The number one thing I can say about this movie that I love is the horror scenes are great. It was actually scary. There was new breeds of aliens. I didn't know where their weapons were going to come from. I don't know, you've seen the other Alien and Xenomorph so many times, you know what they do. With these new aliens, you don't know where it's going to come from. At one point, the albino teenager alien was like, it was just looking at someone, and then its mouth came out of fucking nowhere.
It was great. That was a great scene.
The shit out of me.
The gore effects in this are great.
Yeah.
I mean, those are like some fucking great death scenes too. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. It's definitely Michael Bolton up front, and you think, okay, Michael Bolton is gonna be playing me a song, and then you go right to fucking, I don't know, Mudvayne. I had a good time watching it. I think that it gave me some good answers, and it gave me some questions that are fun, and I think people are gonna mull that shit over, which is exactly what you want to do. And is it bad? Absolutely not. It's one of the better Aliens. I mean, if you think of Alien and Aliens, those two are great. Then you got Alien 3, you're going down a bad hill. And then Alien Resurrection, you're really fucked. Then you go back to Prometheus, it's getting better. Now you're back to at least 3 good movies. This fits in way better with all. I mean, I think I like a little bit better
That's
than
the
Prometheus.
question of the day right there. Do you like, have you seen this, which hopefully you have if you're watching this full review, Prometheus or Covenant?
I think I'll go with this, man.
I think I'm going to go with Covenant 2 because it just had that fun fucking
Well, Covenant
horror.
2 is not out yet, so.
You did. I know what you did last summer. But yeah, comment down below, let us know. We love your fucking faces, and if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn way up at you. Do it.
Don't you dare be a little albino fucking alien.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.